The Great Manhunt, a true crime story. When every policeman in the state is determined to track down the slayers of a fellow officer, you can be sure that the killers won't stay at large for long. This is the story of three men, Matt Leeds, Phil Watson, and Duke Keene, fugitives from a jailbreak, who added murder to their record. The murder of the best-liked cop on the force. Read how the dead man's buddies tracked down the killers in the Great Florida Manhunt. In the gym of the 3rd Police Precinct in Jacksonville, Florida, Officer Joseph Costa paused to read the bulletin board. "How about giving me a lift home tonight, Costa?" "Sure. Be ready in a minute. I just want to read this." "What's so interesting?" "Just a list of cars we ought to be on the lookout for." "Hurry it up. I want to get home early tonight." "Okay, I won't be long." Beyond earshot of Costa, Officer Downs engaged in a brief conversation with another policeman. "Does Costa suspect anything about the surprise party tonight?" "Not a thing. He'll be the most surprised guy in Florida. His wife and the rest of the boys are fixing the place up. What an honor. Voted most popular officer in the precinct, and he's celebrating his 20th year on the force." Later, as Costa and Downs are on their way home, how about my stopping off at your place a minute before I go home? I haven't seen Doris in a long time." "Swell. She'll be glad to see. Hey, that car in front of us. It was listed as a stop for questioning car. I remember the Massachusetts plate. Can't you ever forget you're a policeman?" "Okay, I'll signal them to the curb." "It was listed as being a getaway car in a prison break. They'll be dangerous men if it's the same car. Do you mind getting out, please? We want to speak with you. Can you identify yourselves?" "Get him, Matt!" As the alert Officer Costa had suspected, it was the prison getaway car. Inside, a trio of thugs, Matt Leeds at the wheel, Phil Watson beside him, and their leader, Duke Keene, in the back. "You'll never get us, copper!" "Oh! They got me. Downs, don't let them get away. My shoulder! Aha! You got him, Phil. Okay, boys, let's step on it before the whole force turns out after us." To a daring prison break, the three men had added murder. Murder of the best-liked cop on the force. Officer Downs was seriously wounded. "It's Costa and Downs. Did you see the car?" "It had a Massachusetts license. That's all I remember. It got away too fast for me to get a good look." The news of Costa's death on the eve of his party spread like wildfire through the entire Jacksonville force. "Men, I for one am going to take a solemn oath. Any one of you who wants to join me may do so. I swear that I will do my utmost to capture the men who killed Joe Costa." Without exception, every officer rose and repeated the oath. "I swear that I will do my utmost to capture the men who killed Joe Costa." Once activated, the machinery of the law moved swiftly. Alarms were radioed to police throughout the state to guard the Florida borders. "That's done. The killers can't possibly get across the state line. Now all we have to do is find that car with the Massachusetts license." "It won't be that simple. Those guys aren't dumb. They'll ditch that car the first chance they get." And in the getaway car, at that very moment, three frightened men were discussing their future plans. "Now we got murder added to our record. I don't think cops like cop killing." Stop whining. We can still get away with this if we act smart. We gotta get rid of our guns, in case we're picked up. They can't prove anything if we got different gats. Pull over to the side of the road. Bury them in the soft dirt and make it snappy. We'll keep one, just in case."
"But Duke, we gotta have guns. We may need them. And we gotta get rid of this car."
"Okay, the cops will never find him now."
"Now we gotta get rid of this car, get another one, and more guns."
"I got $3. How much you got?" "Wise guy, huh? I didn't mean we were gonna buy him. Head for Ormond Beach. It's a rich neighborhood. Turn right at the next road."
Okay.
Duke knew the section and directed Phil to a wealthy residential street. It was late and dark, and the area was deserted. "You still have your gun. Break into that house and get all you can. We'll keep the motor running. And don't use that gun. Just show it if you have to." "I got it." Phil was agile, and the tropical casement windows opened easily. "This'll be a cinch." "What is it? What do you want?" "Lower your voice. If you cooperate, you won't get hurt. Give me all the money and the jewelry you have in the house. No tricks now. Are you all alone in the house?" "Yes, my wife's away visiting. I haven't got much here. She took most of the jewelry." "What's that noise? Who's out there?" "Jane, quick, call the police. Run downstairs." "I told you not to try anything." "Oh!" Phil scrambled out of the house, and the waiting car sped away from the scene. Ditching the telltale car on a lonely road, the fugitive trio spent the night near the railroad tracks. "Some of it's valuable, but why did you shoot? The cops are probably closing in on us right now." "I had to. His wife was gonna call the cops. What are we gonna do now? I know a fence that'll buy the jewels. We'll go there in the morning, get a car and guns, and get out of this state as fast as we can. Frank Larson, owner of a small nightclub, had a finger in every shady deal in town, but he took good care to see that his own fingers remained clean. Not knowing, however, how hot Duke and the boys were, he bought the jewels from them.
$900. Take it or leave it.
You're cheating me, but I can't quibble. I'll take it. Within an hour, the trio had exchanged the money for guns and an old car.
Where to, Duke?
South, towards the swamps. They're probably guarding the state lines night and day. We'll try to lie low until things cool off and then leave the state. Meanwhile, the Jackson police were hot on the trail. Fine-tooth combing through every lead, they finally connected the killers with the armed robbery at Ormond Beach. I'm glad the doctors gave your husband a chance to pull through, and we're very grateful for the description of your stolen jewelry. I'll do anything to help catch the beasts who shot my husband. The next step was to search the underworld for a fence that might have bought the jewels. Inevitably, the trail led to Frank Larson.
Larson, we have every reason to believe that Duke Keene bought those jewels here. You'd better come clean.
I handled a lot of jewelry. I can't tell if it's stolen or not. I don't know any Duke. Listen, Larson, the men I'm talking about have just broken jail. They've killed a buddy of mine. Do you know the penalty for aiding a murderer?
Okay. I didn't know he was wanted for anything. I'll talk.
Through Larson, the police followed the trail to the used car dealer who had overheard the men talking about the South Florida swampland. The chase was getting hotter. Attention, Southern Florida patrol cars. Be on the alert for 3 men heading south. Description follows. Duke Keene, age 36. The real break in the case came shortly after. A call came into Jacksonville from the sheriff of Simpa, a small swamp town. Yes, what? You've got them? And you haven't got them? I don't know what you mean, but my men and I will be in Simpa just as soon as we can get there. Go to Downs' house. If he's well enough to go with us, take him. He'll want to be in on the kill. So will we all. I can hardly wait. Although still weak, Downs eagerly went along to try to capture the killers of his pal. Through the hot, humid night, the men drove south to Simpa. Faster, please. We can't let those thugs get away from us. They won't. I can't figure out exactly what the sheriff meant when he said that they have them and they haven't got them, though. It was dawn when Officer Costa's buddies reached Simpa. Sheriff Phillips greeted them on the swampy outskirts of town. What's the story, Phillips? Where are the men? They're hiding under the only house around here. It's built high off the ground and they're behind the thick wooden pilings that hold it up. For gosh sakes, man, what were you waiting for? Why didn't you pull them in? There's a young family living in the house. They're afraid to leave because the thugs will shoot them. We had to wait until dawn to start shooting. The police surround the house, armed to the teeth, but it was Downs who took charge of the battle. Wait! Before we start shooting, I think we ought to give them one more chance to surrender. Okay, go ahead. Listen, men. Give yourselves up now while you're still alive. This is your last chance. Here's your answer, Kappa. Do we make ourselves clear?
Come and get us.
And here's your answer. You'll get what you gave Costa. After a grim and bloody exchange of bullets, Matt and Phil finally surrendered. They had injured one policeman, but Duke was dead. I'm glad we didn't kill you. That would be too easy for murderers like you. The chair is what you'll get. We avenged a buddy's death. As long as we have men like Costa and Downs on our force, no criminal will get away with murder or anything else. Crime can't pay because we who represent law and order won't let it.